Hardy Lynn Hook from Craighead Electric Cooperative in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Welcome to Along Those Lines.
Connect America with AFL. As a trusted BABA-compliant bead supplier, AFL simplifies broadband deployment for Tier 2 and Tier 3 service providers and utility FTTX markets. Partner with AFL, your expert in compliance and connectivity.
Hi, everyone. This is a podcast about electric cooperatives, the work they do, and the challenges they face. I'm your host, Scott Hoffman. Nestled along the upper Mississippi River and surrounded by farms and villages tucked into rolling hills, the town of Galena, Illinois, with its 200-year-old red brick buildings, has charm to spare and regularly appears on national tourism lists as one of the top small towns to visit. Now, with the coming of high-speed internet, Galena is seeing a surge not only in tourism, but in new residents. And the driver behind this trend is the local electric cooperative. JCE Co-op took up broadband in 2009 to connect its advanced metering infrastructure. But as fixed wireless systems proved unreliable, the co-op in 2016 designated future-proof fiber as standard for all new build-outs. Co-op officials say the biggest impacts of their fiber build have been the broad value it's brought to the communities they serve and a noticeable boost in the confidence and trust their members say they have in the co-op. In this special edition of Along Those Lines, we hear from co-op officials and residents in and around Galena who credit their improved quality of life and business success to the foresight and drive of JCE Co-op's broadband effort.
Mark Moran, City Administrator with the City of Galena, Illinois. JCE's fiber broadband has really, fundamentally given 100% of our residents and businesses access to dependable, high-speed, and affordable broadband internet. And I think that's really important. Obviously, in today's world, it's opened up access to remote work from Galena, allowed our businesses to do business with anybody in the world. It's allowed our residents access to services like telemedicine anywhere in the world, working from teachers and students being able to access schooling remotely when that's needed. So it's really just brought all of those aspects of modern life to our small community. Getting high-speed internet from an electric cooperative, I think there's just a higher level of comfort knowing that it's not a profit-driven organization. It's obviously member-owned. It's existing for the benefit of the members. So I think we see with customer service anywhere from a email correspondence to a call into customer service to the service call to the house. It's always a friendly engagement, one that's very reliable and dependent, just a little bit different than what you get from the, again, profit-driven private sector. Galena is such a wonderful community, and we saw at the beginning in COVID really how when individuals were looking to get out of larger cities and find good living environments, Galena was a natural choice. Being able to have that broadband through JCE Co-op, I think made that choice a reality for many people. We saw a lot of in-migration because of that. So it's been, again, really important to us to have this partnership with Joe Carroll, and we hope to see that to continue to grow as well as our community.
Mike Casper, CEO and President and CEO of JCE Co-op in Elizabeth, Illinois. JCE Co-op, we exist to help enhance the quality of life for our members. And fiber, our board of directors determined that internet was key to the success, not only just for our members, but also for the communities that we serve in the area that we serve. Fiber overall project started out just within our service territory, which we provide electric and natural gas to working with the counties. And because we don't serve all of the county within the service territory that we provide electric and natural gas services. So speaking with counties, they wanted to participate. We were fortunate enough to be able to expand those services throughout the county, specifically with grants and being able to provide services not only just for the areas that we currently serve, but also to expand that out throughout the counties, which then benefited us as well and our membership overall because of the additional grants that they provided to us or funding that they provided that they received through the ARPA funding. Before JCE Co-op provided fiber, we provided subpar wireless. Very challenging, especially in this particular area, heavy terrain, trees, vegetation. So you have to have line of sight. And we could not serve all of our members with wireless. Other providers tried or attempted to as well. It just was poor service and did not provide the quality and the fast internet speeds that they have today, especially being directly connected with fiber. Workforce is always a challenging aspect of any type of business, and to be able to be more efficient utilizing fiber services and the other add-on services that we provide as well, from phone to cloud-based storage services that come along with that. And it's really exploring with our membership on what other services that we can provide and what type of add-ons to fiber and how they can best utilize that for their benefit to improve their quality of life. It's not about us. We're just providing the service to them. It's what they can do with it. JCE Co-op Fiber has benefited our communities, not only our small town communities, but also our lake communities. From safety and security, our smaller towns have set up videos. We have one town that we serve as over 1.2 million tourists come through a year. And so there's a lot of surveillance requirements, video requirements, just from a security standpoint. And plus with our fire safety, our sheriff's department, we've been able to develop dual loops for them just from a security standpoint to be able to, for our 911 call-in, for example, for our area. And we have numerous tourists, as I mentioned, coming into our areas, plus some second home provider or second home owners. And what we're finding is in these communities, there were 300 vacant homes, that were for sale. There are no vacant homes anymore. Now we have more than 15 different homes that are being built currently in these lake communities that were empty lots that they couldn't even get rid of previously because they have fiber and they have the flexibility to be able to come out here and work, longer weekends or through even from home for, extended periods of time.
My name is Tracy Bauer. I am the CEO of Midwest Medical Center, and we're here at Midwest Medical Center in Galena. We have experienced tremendous growth here at Midwest Medical Center, especially in the last 5 years. We've been able to recruit new specialists to Midwest Medical Center. We had a great primary care base of primary care physicians and internal medicine providers. So I think the top two things that they look at is schools and healthcare. And with us delivering healthcare, obviously, then the next thing is broadband. And we've had so many people that have relocated out to Galena. Especially during COVID, they wanted to work remote and kind of leaving the bigger cities to come to rural communities, and having that option in this community has just been absolutely wonderful. And I'm speaking from some of my physician standpoint. We had our ER director, he relocated out to the area. His wife did stay in Chicago. She was still working in Chicago, but now because of broadband, she is here living in the community with her husband. So it's just been, a really enhancement to our community. Before JCE provided broadband to this rural community, we did not have great connection, and I'm speaking again from a healthcare standpoint. So when we were trying to offer telehealth services, it was very hard. People would have to drive to areas that they did have broadband access, or into parking lots that they could connect with the store, and now people are able to get those connections from their home, which wasn't possible before. So the broadband from JCE Co-op has benefited the community for so many reasons, but from a healthcare standpoint, it really comes with our electronic health record. We converted to an electronic health record in 2014, and we had times that we did not have redundancy, so we would lose access to our electronic health record. Since we have been able to get access through JCE Co-op, we have not lost. We've had very, very little downtime. It's truly been amazing, and it just impacts the patient quality of care that we're able to provide here. We actually opened a rural health clinic in Elizabeth in 2015. And when you kind of talk about the impact that broadband has on our communities, I do want to pull Elizabeth into this conversation because that is an area that has really been a challenge to provide healthcare services in without broadband access. And now that we have JCE Co-op providing that to us for our Elizabeth clinic, it has made delivery so much better in Elizabeth. And because of the strong foundation that we have with our primary care physicians and our internal medicine physician, we've been able to recruit specialists to our hospital. It started with a podiatrist 2 years ago. Now we have a full-time orthopedic surgeon that works with 2 part-time orthopedic surgeons. And we just recruited in a urologist that he started with us on July 1st, coming to us from Pakistan. He is a United States citizen, but his parents were ill. He left the States and now came back to practice in our community. He chose Galena because it's a great area to work and live. And then we also have a urologist coming August 1st, and then we have a gynecologist that also specializes in obesity medicine starting in September. So with this amount of growth, we've had to do an expansion project. So Midwest Medical Center opened in 2007, and I don't think anybody would have imagined that in 2024 we would be expanding and adding a $35 million expansion project. But we've just ran out of area for our rehab department, our fitness, and for our specialty providers, along with our primary care physicians and internists. So I think broadband only helps that. And when I talk about economic development, I think it just goes hand in hand.
Let's pause briefly here for a word from our sponsor, and when we come back, we'll hear from the owner of an architecture firm that's been able to expand its hiring base using JCE Co-op's Broadband.
Unlock the future of broadband with AFL. AFL's 4 decades of industry expertise make them the go-to BABA-compliant bead supplier for Tier 2 and Tier 3 service providers and utility FTTX markets. They navigate the complex regulations so you can focus on connecting communities. With AFL, you're partnering with a leader committed to seamless and compliant broadband deployment. Let's connect America together. Learn more at aflglobal.com/connectingamerica.
I'm Ray Gorman from Pioneer Electric Cooperative in Ulysses, Kansas. You're listening to Along Those Lines.
My name is Jim Baranski. I'm an architect and owner of Baranski, Hammer, Murata, and Sheehy Architects in Galena, Illinois. Well, we've been in Galena since 1988, 89, so that's 35 years, and we love this place. Growing a business in a small town like Galena is difficult at best. Where do you get talent? And we have been able to get people locally. But if you want to build a firm beyond that, you have to start getting people in other parts of the country. And it's certainly difficult in our business, in architecture. And the fact that we've been able to do that here and start to look at working in different ways by having talent from all over the country work on these projects that are based in Galena, and our work is all over the country. Before JCE Broadband, we had a cable modem, and then prior to that we had DSL, and it was very, very spotty, and it was very difficult to work seamlessly from long distances. We made it work, but it was hard. And ever since we got broadband from JCE, it's been wonderful. And the upload speeds and the download speeds, and our data files are gargantuan, right? These files are, hundreds of gigabytes, and these people are working in real time on these files from as far away as Portland, and we're all able to do that and feel as though we're all part of the same office. Getting our high speed service from our electrical cooperative is that we've known these people for a very, very long time, since 1988 or 1989. And they're the people, when we need something, we can just call them. We know who they are. And so when this opportunity came along, they said, yes, we're going to have fiber optic, and it's going to be high speed, and it's going to be from JCE, we jumped on it. I think that the broadband service from JCE has increased our quality of life and the community's quality of life, because there's been a sort of a shift in the way people do business. And I think COVID was sort of a trigger for this, where people started working from home, and we were sort of forced into this new work modality, where people were no longer going to the office; they were working from home, and we were forced to make that work. And in a little town like Galena, which has a very high quality of life, people now can come live here, raise their families here, and work remotely. And that's good for Galena. It's good for those people. And in general, it's good for the entire community.
I'm Jesse Shackleton, Director of Broadband Operations here at JCE Co-op headquarters in Elizabeth, Illinois. How rural broadband is impacting the quality of life for our members is really a story that's just beginning to unfold. It's really exciting to watch as well. It all started back in 2016 when one of our member communities in Galena, Illinois, their community leaders came to us and said, listen, we have some issues that we're hearing back from our business owners in our downtown storefront areas. And they're really having some poor internet quality issues down there. It's impacting their business and their point of sales. And so naturally, as a cooperative here, we want to help bring solutions to our rural communities. And at the time, we were a fixed wireless provider. And we were looking at a transition phase to move from fixed wireless to fiber, mainly because the area we live in is beautiful, and it's beautiful because of all the hills and trees, which really is not conducive with operating a fixed wireless network, something that's reliable and future-proof, not like fiber. So that's when we ventured into our first fiber pilot project in downtown Galena, and it proved to be hugely successful. In fact, I think we had initially over 80% of the storefronts took our service, our fiber service, and have never looked back. So that was the start of our venture. Continuing beyond that, every home, business, and farm is really going to have its own need and story in terms of how it impacts their quality of life, whether it be a telemedicine, a telehealth application, remote school, whether it's just, in this day and age, K through 12 students don't really have snow days anymore. They have remote school days. So for our school children who leave, and if one child goes home and has good internet and the other one does not, that's really a significant disadvantage to that student and their household. So we really hope that we can help solve and bridge all of those gaps throughout our service area as we continue our build outs. So we're really excited again to see all the different impacts for the quality of life, whether it's a home, residential home, business, or farm. And we have been very fortunate to be the recipient of multiple grants that are helping us to complete our build out and close that digital divide, much like we did in the late 1930s and early 40s, where we, what I like to say, closed the rural electric divide. I believe that what's special about receiving fiber broadband internet service from an electric co-op is 100% the business model. We are a not-for-profit, member-owned cooperative. We do not have any outside interest. It's about the members, for the members, 100%. So really our business model in the co-op sector, and I think all co-ops nationwide understand it and their members understand it, that it is something special. It is different than a for-profit venture where there are other outside interests financially. But in our case, it truly is about the members and bringing value-add services to them. The JCE Co-op Broadband Initiative has benefited our rural communities in multiple ways. And again, as I said prior, that story is just beginning to unfold. I feel there's a few key metrics that we're going to keep a close eye on that I think our build-out will do to significantly positively impact our rural communities. One is you look at the growth rate. We currently have year over year an outmigration, a decline in population in our rural communities. So really our build out, how can we help our rural communities by turning that around and have that be an in-migration where we now start to see populations grow? We serve with our broadband build out, we currently serve the majority of 3 counties, and the populations ranging respectively 15,000, 20,000, and our larger one to the south is about 50,000 in population because of a few larger communities that exist in that county. But largely, they've all had a decline in growth rates in recent years. And so I think that's one benefit we're going to watch. Another key metric that I think is extremely important is going to be the median household income levels that we see. Typically associated in rural America, as we all know, the median household incomes are usually less than the state average. And that's true for our area as well. So I think a key metric is I hope that we can see our build out become a platform and a foundation from which we can start to grow these median household incomes to not only meet, but even exceed the state average. And then a third and really important component, I think, that's near and dear, it's all about our kids. And I think our school districts, and we look at our state rankings on our school districts, a lot of times the state rankings will organically kind of trend with median household incomes, the types of jobs that are available in those regions. We do have some school districts that score very high in terms of state rankings. We also have some that are maybe more middle of the pack or even slightly below. So I think a key metric and a goal for all of us at the co-op, plus working with our communities, is to get all of our school districts to be in the top tier, scoring-wise in the state. I would like to see our area become a very tech-forward area and be recognized throughout the region and even across the United States.
I'm Nathan Greiner with DMI, located here in Galena, Illinois. And I'm the CEO, and our company provides a digital twin platform, which allows companies to basically mimic what's in the real world to be able to make better decisions, business decisions, based on the platform that we provide for them. JCE Fiber really has put us on the stage, I'd say nationally and internationally. Prior to having this level of service, we were unable to be able to be recognized here in the Midwest. We had to have an office either on the coast, but now we can provide all that from our headquarters here in Galena, Illinois. Fiber in rural America, especially our Northwest Illinois region, one is attracted more business. Again, take us for instance. I mean, we could not be here if we didn't have this fiber and that internet speed. And we're seeing other businesses also that can really, again, provide a national presence or global presence from this area. I think the big thing is attracting talent. So again, think about us. We do use some remote workers, but remote workers can come. And so now you're getting, I'd say, a higher level of talent that's willing to move here for the quality of life. I would say my wife and I had a couple of children, and we decided to move back. We had corporate jobs, and we were, I would say, climbing the corporate ladder. But one of the largest decisions that we made, that I guess one of the largest things that changed our decision was when there was solid internet at a high speed to come back and move to rural America. And people, they think that's funny, but it's really true. Most people, for instance, won't come here if there's not good cell coverage. People won't move here if it's like, we're on dial-up. But that was a key factor in our decision to move back basically to rural America.
More than 6,500 of JCE Co-op's 19,000 members now receive broadband service, and within 5 years, the co-op plans to add another 1,500 miles of fiber to its network and sign up as many as 15,000 more subscribers. Our focus today has been on Galena, Illinois, but stories like these are playing out in hundreds of cities and towns across the country as electric cooperatives bring their community focus, their creativity, and their proven ability to get things done to the long-term task of closing America's digital divide. Thanks to you, our listeners, for tuning in, and thanks to our sponsor, AFL Telecommunications. Until next time, for Along Those Lines, I'm Scott Hoffman.
I'm Courtney Cobb from Central Electric Cooperative in Redmond, Oregon. Thanks for listening to Along Those Lines. Subscribe and rate us on your favorite podcast app.